Hello everyone and welcome to the One Lonely Owl YouTube channel. This is the One Lonely Owl podcast. My name is Terry and I will be your host. This podcast is primarily about knitting, my knitting adventures past, present, and future, although I may talk about other crafting as I participate in those things. Anything from sewing to painting or anything that you can possibly imagine. I'm going to apologize in advance because although I did a daily Vlogmas for the month of December up to and including the 24th, I feel a little bit out of practice. I haven't done a podcast since November, so it's been quite some time. So like I said, I will apologize. The notes, as always, are being held down here, so you will see that I will be referencing those. Again, apologies if you see that I'm kind of looking down and maybe feeling a bit more rusty than I would like. So the first thing I wanted to say, I'm actually going to do a quick check here because I made my notes yesterday before I started this, but I wanted to take a moment and say a humongous thank you to anyone that has joined the channel. So as of this recording, I have 92 subscribers, and I've jokingly said at the very beginning of this that, you know, my mom has been the only one watching. Hi, Mom. But 92 of you have subscribed, and on other days I have noticed that I've got a bunch of people that are watching that are not subscribed. So just wanted to say a humongous thank you to anybody who has stopped by, who may want to spend 5 minutes, half an hour sitting with me. And spending your time with me means a lot, because I know that the only thing we have in our world is time, and the fact that you choose to spend it with me means a great deal. So first off, thanks a million to the 92 subscribers that have subscribed. If you are watching this and you're not subscribed, please feel free to go ahead and click that subscribe button so that you can be part of the channel and part of the family. So I appreciate that. The second segment is Mug Up. So Mug Up today is nothing exciting. It is my water bottle. I had a kidney stone over Christmas, so I have been very, very diligent in drinking water. Well, we'll say I've been more diligent in drinking water. I still have some room to grow when it comes to that, but I just have my water bottle with me, which you have seen before. I don't think I have any new stickers on it. No. But that is it for Mug Up. Let's see, what else is there? This is sad because I'm actually not wearing any knitwear today. I'm wearing this really so comfy, cozy jacket that my sister-in-law gave me for Christmas, and some reading socks, which I won't show you, but they're store-bought. Not wearing any knitwear today, although today would be a great day to wear some. I went out for a walk with my dog earlier today, and walking away from my house was fine. Walking home, was right into the wind, and I really could have used, I thought about many of the cowls and scarves and things that I owned that I could have been wearing that I was not wearing, not knowing how cold it was going to be. When I left the house, it felt fine, and it wasn't cold at all, and then when I returned, it was quite chilly. So, not wearing anything today. Whatta Ya At? I have, and now I'm actually able to show these things, but I don't have them with me. The antlerless antler cardigan is just getting its button band, which I'm very excited about. I gifted it to my best friend's husband on Christmas Eve, and he was very excited to receive it. So I made sure that it fit before I put the button band on. So the button band is in the process of being sewn or being knit onto that. I've got one side done, and I've just got to finish the other side and then sew the underarms. So once I've got that done, I will take a photo, and or if I haven't given it to him yet, I will show it to you on the podcast. The other thing that I have been doing, which I also realized I don't have with me, hold, I will be right back. Okay, so I decided since I went upstairs to get my socks, I should get the sweater as well. So I'm going to start over with my Whatta Ya At segment and show you the sweater. So this is so what I did here was I used the antler cardigan pattern from Tin Can Knits, but I omitted the antlers in the yoke. It is knit first with the sleeves, and then you join the body. Once you get to the sleeves, you join the sleeves on, and then you do the button band afterward, and you sew the underarms underneath. So here it is. You won't be able to see much of it. And I won't put it on because I'm wearing a giant jacket already. But this is it. This is the antlerless antler. Like I said, I've just finished one side of the button band, so I'm going to do the other side is the button band with the holes in it, and then sew up the underarms and call it a day. So I'm really excited about this. I was really happy with the response that my best friend's husband gave. He's been begging and pleading for a sweater basically since I've known him, since he knew that I was a knitter, and now he'll be able to say that he is knit worthy, assuming he wears this. So I absolutely love how this sweater feels. This is knit with Briggs and Little Sport in this Seafoam colorway, and it just feels so hearty and so warm, and I just know that he's going to get a lot of use out of this. It's so rugged, but it doesn't feel itchy. Anyway, I love this sweater, and I'm really proud of it. And very glad that the recipient is appreciative. All right, so the next thing in Whatta Ya At are my National Lampoons Christmas Vacation socks. So these are in my National Lampoons Christmas Vacation wire. I think it's the small, maybe medium, I'm not sure, sized wire framed bag by Sew Shannon. It was part of the Canadian Countdown Christmas calendar from Polka Dot Creek this year. It was 24 yarn dyers, including Polka Dot Creek. So 23 other yarn dyers, and then the 25th day was the bag that the entire thing came in. So all 24 skeins came in the this bag. So the last time you saw these socks, it was one sock, and it was at where this guy is. So just above the toe. What are we talking? 11 stripes. There are 33 stripes in this sock, plus obviously the heel or the toe and the cuff. I have not done the heel yet, so I will be doing that later once I get the other sock completed. And then I started this sock, I don't know, yesterday or the day before maybe, and I'm already 2 repeats in. No, not 2 repeats. A repeat and a half. So I've got 9 stripes done on this sock. So I've got a little bit more to go. Really loving these. I think these are going to be an everyday sock wear. They're not your traditional Christmas looking, although I love my Christmas box of socks, so they might end up in there, but we'll see. Okay, so that was my Whatta Ya At. Whatta Ya At was the antlerless antler where I'm finishing the button band, and now I can finally show it to you, and the Christmas vacation socks, which are in the Christmas vacation bag. The antlerless antler is in a 31 bag that is a multi-level marketing company. Let's just move all that over there, and let's see. Okay, so this is really exciting. I have been watching lots of podcasts for quite some time, and I'm really finding a lot of joy in the kind of year-end roundups where people are talking about all the things that they did in 2023 and the projects that they completed. Now, if you are new to the channel, you may not know this, and I will apologize to those that have heard this story 8,000 times. But in September of 2022, I was diagnosed with cervical cancer. In February of 2023, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer, and more recently, most of you won't know this unless you're my immediate family, in December it was confirmed that the cervical cancer has returned. So 2023, well, the last parts of 2022 and 2023 were very, very challenging for me and my family, and getting that diagnosis in December was a little bit of a kick in the guts, if I'm honest. I do have some plans in early this year, so in 2024, I do have some plans for an exam under anesthesia to check to see if the cancer has gone anywhere else, as well as a surgery, radical hysterectomy. So hopefully I won't be having to talk too much about this in the future. Hopefully the hysterectomy will take care of all the other things that the chemo and radiation has not taken care of. But the point of me telling you this was in 2023, I was not working and I was doing lots of things for self-care and recovery. And I did not realize how much I actually knit in 2023 until I sat down and looked at all of the things in my sort of my photo roll or whatever. I hadn't necessarily been doing a great job of updating my project page for Ravelry, project pages for Ravelry. So I ended up going through and I found that I was able to complete 30 projects in 2023. I believe it was 30 projects that were finished. If not, they were almost finished, because I think a couple of those were the sweaters that I'm finishing early in this year. So what I'd like to do today, that a couple of other people have done as well, is kind of do a little bit of a roundup. So I'm going to use my phone and I'm going to go through the list of the items, and if I can find a finished object photo, I'll post it. If I can't find a finished object photo, I'll find like an in progress photo for you. So, the first thing in 2023 that I have noted as a completed object is the giraffe. Now, the giraffe was a gift for my daughter. It is a pattern by Louise Crowther in the, I believe it's called Knitted Animal Friends, but it might be Knitted Wild Animal Friends. So I'll link everything in the description box below, which you can find right below this video, and I'll note everything online or right below where I'm speaking. But also I'll have posted a photo here as well. So the giraffe was, it was a labor of love, I'll say that. I love my daughter dearly, obviously, and she loves giraffes, so I completed that one for her. Along with that one, which was later in the year, but I did also complete the sloth for my son. So my son is a big fan of sloths, and the same thing, I used the pattern from the Louise Crowther Knitted Wild Animal Friends, and I completed the sloth for him. Now, although my children usually are very knit-worthy, both of those stuffies are in the bottom of their toy boxes. So I have not completed any of the clothing that I said I was potentially going to complete for them. I still have, I guess, some intention of completing that, but not until I know that the toys will get a bit more love than they're getting today. I'm going to go through these very quickly because there are 30 of them. But like I said, I will post a finished object photo here because I don't have all of them with me. So number 2, other than the giraffe and the sloth, number 2 was the Spice Market Boxy. So the Spice Market Boxy was my third boxy that I have completed. And it's in the Spice Market colorway by Polka Dot Creek. Boxy is a pattern by Locatelli. Again, everything I talk about today will be linked in the description box below, and I will note it across the top of the screen. Number 3 was Calliope. Calliope is a pattern by Espace Tricot, and I completed it with spicy mustard in DK, obviously by Polka Dot Creek. I say obviously because most things that I make are with Polka Dot Creek unless I can't find an equivalent pattern or an equivalent yarn. Number 4 was the Erised cowl. The Erised cowl was a cowl that had been on my needles for ages. A very, very, very long time. I'd started it for a friend of mine and I finally finished it this year and sent it off to her. She lives in Newfoundland and it was knit with the whatever called for yarn was in the pattern, and that pattern is found in the where is it? It's here, Knitting Magic by Tanis Gray, the Knitting Magic book. So that was completed and sent off as a gift early in the year. Number 5, my candy corn socks, which are actually hanging right behind the camera. I'll be right back. My candy corn socks, I started when I first started going through chemo, and I was not sure that I wanted to finish them, but I did, and I'm really glad that I did, and I absolutely love them. I don't know why they're still hung up over there, but I just leave them there. I don't want to hang that. There. Okay. Number 6 was the Sloth. Number 7. So I ended up doing 4 Ilene bags. Now I cannot remember the name of the designer that does the Ilene bag, but I did a blue one, an orange one, a red one, and a yellow one. Again, I'll put below who is the designer for the Ilene bag, but I did, and I did another one too. I did a teal-y color, like an aqua color for myself. So I ended up actually doing 5. The orange one was gifted to my best friend. The blue one I use at the grocery store. The red one was for my daughter, and the yellow one was a gift for my son's kindergarten teacher. And then the aqua colored one, I actually don't even know where that is, but I believe it is. Hold on, I'll be right back. Sorry, I thought I actually had it in my knitting room, but I actually can't find it and I don't know where it is. I'm sure it's here somewhere. But the Ilene bag that I ended up keeping 2, and the other 3 were gifts. One of them was a gift for my daughter. I believe I told this story once before. I'm pretty sure she's going to be a negotiator when she grows up. She asked me, I had given her the teal colored one, and she said, "Mommy, I'll give you this one back if you knit me a red one." She's 4. So yeah, I finished 5 of those. I also finished the jean quilt for my best friend's son. Again, I will post a photo of that here. It was just a rag quilt that was completed with some old jeans that I had that, again, there was a bit of a story. She had helped me pack, and when we were doing the packing, she had asked me how long I had that fabric, and I'd had it for about 16 years. And so she said, if you're not going to do anything with it, we're not moving it to your new house. So I promised her that I would make her son a quilt out of it. So that's how that ended up. I also did a small keychain. I started doing a little bit of macrame. I did a small keychain, which I don't know if I have a photo of, but I will. Again, I'll post it here. The keychain was very simple. I have a book somewhere. Not exactly sure. I'll apologize. That's the water running from upstairs, if you can hear that. I have an old book of friendship bracelets, and I know it's in here somewhere, but the keychain that I made and the macrame tutorial that I followed was actually one of the one of the friendship bracelets that I used to do when I was a kid. So that was really fun. I also did a lanyard. If you are new here, the brain fog that I experience is very real, and I lost my keys at soccer one night, and I was able to drive home without them. It's a bit of a weird situation. I have a keyless car start, and so I must have had my keys with me at one point, and then they fell off the vehicle because they were not inside the vehicle somewhere on the highway, and somebody picked them up. So I made myself a lanyard, and now I wear my keys everywhere I go. Yoga socks. I made 2 pairs of yoga socks, one brown and one blue. Again, I'll post a photo of those here. I think I've talked about these on the podcast before because I have worn them and I wear them fairly frequently in the summer especially. They were really fun knit, really, really simple knit. They are also made out of Briggs & Little sport, and really enjoyed knitting those, and I really enjoy wearing them. I made a pair for myself and a pair for my best friend. The field bag, which you can see right there, this yellow field bag was a project that I had completed, and I don't actually think I have this on my list. I don't. The black field bag that I made, so I made this field bag as per the pattern, and then the black one that I made following that, I followed the pattern, but I just made the sort of the whole of the bag a little bit bigger so that it would be able to carry more. I kind of wanted to be able to carry a bunch of things, either a sock project and a few other things, or maybe a sweater project. So I made that one as well, and I altered a couple of those things. And I don't have that with me, but and I'm not even sure if I have a photo, but if I don't, I'll take one and I'll put it up here. But it's just the field bag, but it's done in black. I also made the toiletry bag for my best friend out of some denim. She had seen the field bag that I made and had said, you know, she'd been looking for something kind of tall and skinny to put her shampoo and all of her toiletries in when she goes traveling. And so I whipped up something kind of out of my head. Again, I've talked about that on the podcast as well. The teapot cozy. I have a teapot that I don't use as often anymore because of the kidney stones. I'm trying not to drink as much tea, and a whole pot of tea to myself was probably not helping the kidney stone situation. But when I do pour myself a full pot of tea, I do have a teapot cozy that goes over top of that. So again, I will post a photo of that. The boho vest. Now that was a little bit of a flop. It looks great. It just doesn't look great on me. So when I wear it, it looks a bit silly. I haven't decided yet still if I'm going to add some fringe. Maybe the fringe will make it look a little bit differently. But when I finished it, I tried it on and it just didn't look like it was supposed to fit. It didn't fit the way that I felt like it was supposed to fit. So we will see if anything happens with that. I may end up giving that one away. Number 19, the striped t-shirt. So this one is the gray and aqua colored t-shirt. Again, I'll post a photo of that here. That one was completed with Creek Gardens Crafts Pima cotton. And I think when I did the podcast, I had said that it was gray. Or, sorry, the gray color was mist and the teal color was aqua. The actual name of it was robin's egg. Again, not really relevant because Creek Gardens Crafts doesn't sell hand-dyed cotton any longer. You can get hand-dyed cotton at polkadotcreek.com, polkadotcreekyarn.com, and they sell some hand-dyed cotton now since Creek Gardens Crafts no longer does that. Number 20. Okay, so I'm putting this one in here because it's 90% done, and I know that I'm going to get some flack for this, is my flax light. So the flax light is, I've got, 3/4 of a sleeve completed, and then the other sleeve is the only thing that's left to be done. So I'm throwing that in there because it was a significant portion of my knitting in 2023 was on that, not a significant portion, but a lot of it got completed, and it's a fingering weight sweater, so I'm throwing it in and I'm taking credit for having most of it done in 2023, although I will be finishing it in 2024. The West Coast cardigan. So this one's the opposite. I had done 99.9% of the knitting prior to 2023 and finally got it off the needles, and I'm finally able to wear it in 2023. So that one was, the entire sweater was completed except I didn't have a closure. I had done a zipper 3 separate times, I think, maybe even 4, and I wasn't happy with the outcome. So I ended up putting on a button band, and now I'm very happy with it and I wear it regularly. Marie's shawl. So I had made a shawl for my best friend's mom. I forget the name of it. I believe it was What the Crux shawl by Cozy Up Knits. And it was done, and I'll put that below. If I was wrong, I'll put the actual name of it below. And again, I'll link everything in the description box. But that was done with a Creek Gardens Crafts kit. So What the Crux shawl, Creek Gardens Crafts yarn. And I did... I don't think it was What the Crux. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I would have already done the correction down below, so you'll see that. The Close to Me shawl, that one was done with some lily and pine yarn. I can't remember the name of the colorway, and it was knit for one of my best friends who moved back to not Nova Scotia. She moved back to Vancouver Island. The other direction, she turned 50 this year, so I made that for her 50th birthday. I did two sample knits for Polka Dot Creek. So I did a shawl, the girl from the grocery store shawl, and just a vanilla pair of socks for Shelly at Polka Dot Creek for display with the new colorways. I did the granny square pillow. So you may have heard the saga of these pillows, these cushions that my husband has been carrying around with him for decades, and he loves them. They've just been through a lot, and they're showing their wear. So one of them had actually worn right through the cover. With the amount of washing and things that were happening with it, I can only imagine. But anyway, finally I washed the pillow and I threw out the cover and I made a new cover for that. So I'm really proud of it and I quite enjoyed it. It looks really cute on our couch. The Irish mitts. So I had made a pair of mittens for one of my oncology team. She is from Ireland, and I had some leftovers from a blue brick skein called Ireland, and I held it together with some natural mohair from Polka Dot Creek, two of my favorite yarn dyers, one of my favorite doctors, and I made her a pair of mittens to wear because she was moving to Canada to be a permanent fixture in our hospital system, so I wanted to make sure that she was warm and cozy while she was here. I made another pair from another leftovers, another pair of mittens for my best friend for Christmas, and then the two sweaters that you've heard me talk about. So one was the 4 to 6 year size of the antler sweater, which I don't have with me because that one is I'm getting buttons put on it and I honestly don't even know where it is. And the antlerless antler, which you've already heard me talk about. So again, those I'm putting in 2023 because all I've got left to do is the button band or put the buttons on them. Holy moly, that seems like that was a lot, and I'm going to have a ton of editing to do now that I've decided to tell you about 31 particular projects, and I'm going to have to link all of the things below. But you will find everything that I've talked about in this week's episode in the description box right below this video. The next segment, I'm sorry if that feels rushed. I feel like that might have felt a little bit rushed for me. But I'm going to move right on because I don't have, endless amounts of time, and I don't think that you want to spend several hours sitting here listening to me talk about 30 projects that I completed last year. So, twacking. Twacking is the next segment where we talk about the things that I may have shopped for or things that I purchased. I only will take credit for one of the things. I was gifted some paint by numbers from my husband this year for Christmas, which I'm really excited about. But the one thing that I ended up purchasing was the Stanwood ball winder. If you didn't watch Vlogmas, you wouldn't have seen this. But I'm sure lots of people have seen Stanwood ball winders before. I ended up breaking my sort of old faithful, the one that I had had for years and years. I'd broken it and I'd repaired it and broken it and repaired it. Finally, I decided enough was enough and I purchased myself this Stanwood ball winder, which is a gorgeous green color, my favorite green color, sort of this foresty green. So that has its place in my craft room now, and I am excited to have it and have a ball winder that works, to be fair. So that was the one thing that I did. Uh-oh. I think I'm going the wrong way. I am. Sorry about that. The next segment is Now to Once. Now to Once is where I talk about what I'm going to be up to in the next coming months, weeks and months. So I alluded to this a little bit earlier. I have an exam under anesthesia booked for the middle part of January. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be a day procedure, so it shouldn't have too much impact. But a surgery is likely to quickly follow that, probably the last week in January, the first week in February. So I do have some small goals, and I do have some sort of bigger long-term goals. But the two things that I want to make sure that I finish, I'm not going to put any pressure on myself, but the two things that I would like to get finished are sewing the buttons on the small antler, on Jack's antler cardigan, and I want to finish the button band and sew the buttons onto the antlerless antler cardigan so that those can be properly gifted to the recipients and they can start to wear them. The other thing that I would like to do for 2024, and these are more long-term goals, but actually I've got a few of them, so maybe bear with me for a second. Number one, I do want to finish my flax light. So I will finish the flax light. Number two, I want to finish some of the other projects that I have started in 2023 and or older than 2023, and either decide I'm going to frog them and be done with them, or finish them and either gift the finished object if it is giftable, or put it in my wardrobe if that's where it should be. So you've heard me, I did a finish or frog a while ago, and I ended up making some decisions on some of those things. So those projects are where I want to spend most of my time. So some of those are the flax light, the sweater dress that I think I may finish, but we'll see, the Newfoundland flag, the harvest cardigan. There's a fair few of those that are up for discussion, but most of them I think I've decided that I want to finish. So I'm hopefully going to be finishing those in 2024. The kind of bigger sort of ideas that I would like to do, every year I make some goals. So I want to learn how to crochet. I want to learn how to do a button band. I want to learn how to steek. So this year I've got two main goals. One of those is I want to make some brioche mittens. I have done broken brioche in the past. I cannot remember the name of the sweater. It's my hunter green colored sweater. You have heard me talk about it in the past because I've worn it on the podcast. But I'll put the name of the sweater below. It's in 100 Knits by Interweave. It's on page 374. I just cannot remember the name of it for the life of me, so I'll put that below. And so I have done brioche like that in the past, but I haven't done traditional brioche before. The other thing that I would like to do is to steek. I do cut my knitting because I do an afterthought heel, but I've never done a steek before. So this year I have two projects in mind. One is just a mug cozy that I want to try because it's small, it's easy, it's color work, which is kind of why I want to learn to steek, because I want to get a little bit better at doing color work. And anyway, I know getting better at doing color work and steeking are two totally different things, but you get my drift. The color work, steeking usually goes hand in hand with color work. So whatever, I've gone too deep down this rabbit hole now. So I want to practice steeking. I also want to practice my color work, so that's why I've chosen this color work mug cozy. And then there is a sweater by Marley Bird, who she does a very plain sweater with pockets, a cardigan. Actually, it sort of looks a little bit like this one, like it's just a plain sweater, no hood, nothing, just sweater with pockets, but it's a cardigan, so it'll zip up. But it is one where you knit in the round and then you steek it. So I'm potentially going to try that one, but I definitely am going to try the cup cozy because I know that one is small and easy. So that's my plan, brioche and steeking for 2024. So those are the two things that I'm going to try. That is Now to Once. That's probably the longest Now to Once segment I have ever had. Next segment we have is Jigs and Reels. Jigs and Reels is where we talk about the things that I've been reading, watching, listening to. The first thing that I will share is today I watched Good Grief, by the new movie out with Dan Levy. So it was written and directed by Dan Levy. If you are new here, Schitt's Creek is my favorite show of all time. Dan Levy is an absolute brilliant human being. We're lucky to call him Canadian. He is absolutely wonderful at what he does. Obviously I don't know him personally, but I think that if I was to know him personally, I would think he's a wonderful human being based on the things that he produces. So I just finished watching Good Grief. I would give it a couple of thumbs up. I would be careful if I were you. There are some trigger things in there. It's a movie about grief, and there's all kinds of things that came up for me. So just to be forewarned, if you're not prepared to cry a lot, maybe I would give it a pass for now. The things that I was listening to, a lot of Christmas music. Obviously it was the season, but I'd spent a lot of time listening to Christmas music on my record player. The record player got a fair bit of use over the Christmas holiday, and it was just nice and jovial and fun, and I really enjoyed that. The Nightingale was by Kristen Hanna, was an audiobook that I listened to. It is our book club book, my out of the library book club book choice for this month. So we're going to be meeting with the group on Wednesday, and I'm really excited about that one. It was another trigger warning, maybe. It was a World War II, set in World War II. A woman does some, I forget what you would call it, but she rescued fighter pilots that had gone down in the war. So she helped actually smuggle them out of the country in France during World War II. So again, if you are sensitive about those types of things, those types of topics, and World War II, just be forewarned. But The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, I really enjoyed. Iron Flame, I am currently reading and still sort of slowly making my way through, because I have a couple of book club books that I have to get through, or that I'm choosing to get through. The other book that I'm reading by Eric Lawson is The Splendid and the Vile, which is a story about Winston Churchill throughout the same years, like 1940, 1941-ish, during the World War II. What else? I think I talked about this before, but I finished The Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I'm not sure if that was brought up before. And then the one thing that I wanted to mention was during Christmas and all of the Vlogmases and things that I was watching, I was recommended to watch a couple of other channels. So number one, I had been watching this one before, but I'd sort of forgotten about it and had let it go by the wayside. But I picked up watching The Last Homely House again. If you have not seen it, it is lovely. It is so wonderful. I don't quilt, but I just love watching Kate and Anna. And in this particular couple of episodes that I watched, Anna was making her own quilt, and I could really relate to her, because I've been in that position before where you think it can't be that hard, and then you get into it and you realize that it actually is not as easy as some people make it look. But yeah, really enjoyed that one, and will be continuing to watch that one. So that is The Last Homely House. And the other was The Woolly Mammoth. Where have I been and why have I not found that channel until now? I absolutely love it. So what I'm likely going to do in the first parts of 2024, or maybe when I have my surgery, is go back and watch all of the episodes of The Woolly Mammoth. I think that YouTube channel is just exactly what I need, and really my style. So I really enjoyed that one. So that's it for Jigs and Reels. Now we're on to Best Kind. Best Kind is where we talk about things that make me feel good. They're the best kind. That person, he's the best kind. She's the best kind. You know, that cake, that's the best kind. Really, really, really want to stress how important it was for me over this past Christmas period, finding out that I had cancer again, to spend time with my family. So spent time with our kids, spent time with my husband, spent time with my immediate family, his immediate family. We had just a really great time enjoying each other's company. We'd had some laughs, we had some drinks, we had, too much food, always an abundance of food. But it was just such a really wonderful time. We got to celebrate my mother-in-law's birthday. We got to do my child's first Christmas concert, which was absolutely heartwarming. It was the sweetest story. What else did we do? Obviously, we had Christmas morning, and we had all the meals that went along with that. My best friend and her family came over on Christmas Eve, and we enjoyed each other's company, just opening presents and playing with the kids and making lamingtons, which is a tradition of ours. I just felt that throughout this Christmas season that my cup was really, really full, and that felt really great. Especially, I found out that I had cancer again on December 9th, which was the 1-year anniversary of me being released from the hospital last year, 2022. So I was really hoping on December 9th that I was going to get some really great news, and I ended up finding out that I had cancer for the 3rd time. Really not what you want to hear. So I was kind of concerned about the possibility of being happy and joyous and actually really being able to enjoy myself over Christmas, but I was able to do so. So that is what I'm going to focus on for this particular Best Kind. There's 1,000 other things that I've done. Started walking, started doing yoga again, always meditating. All of those things are also things that make me feel great. But I will say that the number one thing that I will say that I did was spend time with the people that mean the most to me. And that was the best part of my holiday since you've seen me last. With that, that's all I have to share today. I will see you again in 2 weeks. So I will be back on track now since Vlogmas is over. I'll be back on track to doing 2-week episodes. And hopefully, because I will be a little bit more with it again, I'll remember to bring my projects with me so I don't have to do pauses in the middle, or I won't have to rely so much on my notes, etc., etc. But I do appreciate you joining me today. Like I said at the beginning, I know that time is the only gift that you really can give, and so I really appreciate the fact that you spend to share your time with me. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead, like, subscribe, click the bell icon so you can be notified of any future content. Yeah, that's all I've got. Until next time, stay where you're to till I comes where you're at. Bye.